There was another person in the company who heard of me, and they came to Chicago and they said, "You've got to move to New York. I need to have you running my business there." And so I did that. None of it felt right. I was doing well. And, I kept screwing all this stuff up, and people said, well, maybe you have a fear of success, or maybe you have a fear of money. And that didn't make sense for me, because I knew that wasn't it, because I was successful. At 26, I was successful. Far more, even more than my parents at one point, at 26. So it wasn't that I was afraid of success, and it wasn't a fear of money, because I had that was coming in at my age. When I got the first job, when I left, I went and got that job. I was 19 years old, and I was making more money than anybody around me. And that's all I thought was important, was the money. So I was doing it. That wasn't it. But I never felt I was in the right place. I went through that my entire life. I felt just completely out of it. And then because of it, I would take anything that came along, any job, just because I need to have it. And then they would all go to hell. They would just be destroyed for whatever reason. Most times because I wasn't supposed to be there. And then I was taken advantage of in many of them, because I just needed to, I was working for them, and I needed to do whatever they said. And I didn't want, it was a mess. I mean, I even went through one of the jobs. I knew it was stressful because I had suffered from cluster headaches for years, and they got triggered when I was under stress. So I was under stress. I mean, in my office, I couldn't move sometimes because they're so painful. You just want to kill yourself. I wanted to kill myself many times. And I would lie on the floor because I couldn't do anything. Then finally, I got fired, which was the craziest thing ever. And I couldn't figure it out. Why was I fired? I was doing everything. I was running a whole company at this point. And, fast forward a year later, I found out that I wasn't supposed to be there either. And I was taken care of. The universe protected me because they were doing illegal things there, and everybody got arrested and went to jail. If I had still been there, if I hadn't been fired, that would have been my fate, even though I didn't know what was going on until a year later. And then, didn't matter though, because I lived the year thinking something's wrong with me. I can't even do this job. This is just really horrible. I have no direction. I have no life. And then on top of that, all sorts of other things were happening. I had an injury that happened right after all of this, and I ended up in the hospital for more than a month. I ended up losing most of my left foot. I ended up on pain meds. I ended up clinically depressed. Everything. And I thought, there's no way for me to get back from this. I had to learn to walk again. And I mean, that was a whole new thing, because I go, why is this happening? Why are all these things continually happening? But I had to work, so I went back to work. I just had to take a lot of opioids because I was in so much pain that's all I could do. So then I developed that addiction. So now I have a drug addiction I have to deal with. And after having gone through so many other periods of my life of depression, I thought this is going to be really challenging. But I did figure it out. And all of that stuff passed, and then I decided I've got to go back. I've got to do something else. I always wanted to do my own thing. When I was in New York, I created this big business, and it failed miserably. Just went to hell, and I thought everyone hated me. This is going to be, I can never do anything again like this. Then years later, I started another huge business. Again, it completely failed. And I could look back and I could say, okay, it was because of what was happening, because the economy was really screwed up. And that was it. But I knew that wasn't it. Wasn't where I was supposed to be. It was not where I was supposed to be. But I couldn't leave. I hang on to everything. I had so much, changing was so challenging for me. That's why I would take these jobs and I would be stuck there. And that other one, I wasn't going to quit. They had to fire me. Even though it was terrible. That's what I would do. I would put myself in situations I think I have no other choice. I can't do anything else. So I might as well just suffer with this. If I could tell you how many times I did that. Then I decided that I was going to do something again. I went into a partnership with someone and I said, oh, well, this will be easy. Then I don't have to be responsible for all. Maybe this will be it. And it was great. It was wonderful. And then I proved again that it wasn't a fear of money or success, because I became successful. Now, again, I can think back to years and years ago, the first time that I made over $100,000. And that was a big deal, 30 years ago. But I thought it didn't mean much, because I didn't think it was all of it. And then even with this next business, there was a time when my partner told me, we've earned over $1 million now. I said, great.